So lately I've been seeing a bunch of reviews on a new GoPro gimbal. These reviews are just like everywhere. But with that said though, it got me thinking like, do you need a gimbal for an action camera? Ooh man, a lot of construction going on. A lot of holes. I mean, seriously, like, think about it. Like, the Hyper Smooth on the GoPro Hero 10 is so good. Like, do you really need a gimbal? Same with the Action 2, the Insta360 1R, 1RS. If the footage is so smooth, why would we need a gimbal? Now, something like the Sony a7S III and even the Sony ZV-1, getting a gimbal massively ups the sauce for these cameras. And this tree is still here. But for something like a GoPro, like this GoPro? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. But I did just drop little Sky money off at school, and I think it will be a perfect time to find out. And then for this test, we're gonna be using the Inkee Falcon Plus or Pro? No, it's Plus. We're gonna put the GoPro Hero 10 on the Inkee Falcon, and we're here to find out one thing and one thing only. Do you need a gimbal for an action camera? Balls! And now real quick, before we get into the review, y'all already know we gotta give a huge shout out to today's coffee sponsor. And pimpin', that is Ron St. Clair. Huge shout out to Ron. You all up on ninja mode. Like seriously, I believe this guy has bought me coffee maybe 3 or 4 times already. So Ron, again, a huge thank you. Like, thank you so much. And just a huge shout out to just all of you guys. Like for real, man, because I really appreciate it. But now we gotta hop back in thug mode and get on with the review because we about to go hard in the paint. Okay, we are officially vlogging with a GoPro and a gimbal. Let's see if this thing brings the sauce or it's just a big old fat waste of money. And now right off the bat, huge brownie point to the Inkee Falcon Plus, just because when you triple tap the trigger finger button, it rotates it around the other way. Bounce! Everybody at my spot today. Look, that's my spot. And now so far, it doesn't feel too bad. The gimbal is actually very well made. It is plastic, but doesn't feel cheap. And it is fairly easy to use. I'm gonna be real. I just put the GoPro on and it was good. No balancing, nothing. And now something that was heavily motivated about the gimbal was the simple fact that you could use it with the media mod. And now don't get me wrong, that's cool, that's gangsta, especially if you rocking the media mod. Yeah. But now if you rock on my channel, if you've seen any of my GoPro videos, you already know I kind of think the media mod was like a waste of money. There, I said it. I said what you guys can't say. You know, I'm always shocked at how many people haven't died from like these buses turning like that. Like, now so far using the gimbal doesn't seem too bad, but I kind of feel like we should actually do like a vlog comparison, like maybe vlog with the gimbal and no stabilization on, and then vlog using just a selfie stick but with stabilization on. Like, come on, right? My review game is on point today. Using a gimbal and no stabilization. How is it looking so far? Yeah. You can see that crop is gone, so you have a much wider field of view. So again, this is with just the gimbal and no stabilization. How steady is it to you guys? Like, how we looking, pimpin'? How we looking? Okay, and now we are just on a selfie stick. Fairly short, the gimbal is right here. And for the stabilization, I did not choose the best one. I actually chose regular standard stabilization. So how are we looking, pimpin'? How we looking? I feel like you know what? It almost looks like it's a little bit more stable than using the gimbal. I will say though, taking the GoPro on and off the gimbal that's a bit much, man. So I'm using the Insta360 selfie stick, and now what if I vlogged like this? Like what? Well, I think that would be the widest vlog anybody has ever seen. Like, come on, pimp. Okay, this is with no gimbal, but stabilization turned on to standard. How does it look? Okay, this is with no stabilization and on the gimbal. when you do use a gimbal and you turn off stabilization, you are getting a much wider field of view. Because as soon as you turn on the stabilization, you are getting a big crop. For example, this is with stabilization turned off on a gimbal, and this is with the stabilization turned on, and you could see there is a noticeable crop on, and this is just standard. That means if you bump up that stabilization to like hyper boost or hyper smooth, you are definitely gonna get a larger crop. But like, again, if the stabilization's that good though, do you need a gimbal? The stabilization on these cameras today is just amazing. Like, action cameras be killing it. Like, they definitely bring the sauce when it comes to stabilization. That's kind of honestly what a lot of these action cameras are known for, is their in-body stabilization. Let's talk about the pros and the cons of the Inkee Falcon Plus. The first pro has to be the size. It is very small and can fit anywhere, as well as it's actually very light as well. Which means if you pack in a bunch of heat in your backpack, taking this gimbal with you will not be a problem. The next pro is that it is powerful. I mean, to be able to hold the GoPro Hero 10 and the 9 with a medium mod, because let's be real, the GoPro Hero 10 and 9 have gained a bunch of weight. I mean, it's thick. So to be able to handle that load is definitely a plus. Like the Hue and gimbal that I reviewed the other day, pimpin', you will have no problem picking this up and getting started. And then the last pro has to be being able to turn off stabilization and still get in smooth footage, because everybody knows that as soon as you get a low light situation, like GoPro's great stabilization kind of goes out the window. You're just getting a ton of artifacting, and if you get a lot, the footage is actually not even usable. So being able to turn off the built-in stabilization on the GoPro and then still getting smooth footage is a huge plus, which helps out a lot in low light situations. But now for the cons. The first con has to be, you don't know if you really need one. Because pimpin', if I'm being honest, I don't really see myself using a gimbal for my GoPro, because I know that the GoPro isn't that great in low light, so why would I, you know? The next con is that having a gimbal just adds more to the package with a GoPro. Like, the point of having a GoPro or a small camera like this is because it's so small. But now, if you add a gimbal, then you're just packing all of it. And in the action camera world, that's just not gangster. Like, that ain't hot. Then the next con is that although you are getting pretty stable footage, you are getting a lot of micro jitters. Like, it's just gonna happen. To me, and this is just to me, pimpin', but the gimbal is just not as good as the built-in in-body stabilization. Yes, I went and said it. I'm a man of the people. I'm here to say what you can't say. Then the last con to me would have to be that the gimbal motor is actually on the side where the battery is, which means you can't really charge the camera. And that's kind of a con to me, because I kind of like being able to charge the battery while I'm on the go, versus having to screw the screw out and then take it off, and then like, it's a lot. And also, that's actually another con. Taking the GoPro off the gimbal is a bit of a hassle. Like, if there was a way where you could just magnetically clamp it on and clamp it off, pimpin', you would be Gucci. But as of right now, yeah, I haven't seen nothing. But if you do happen to see anything like that, pimpin', let me know. Let your boy Sky Money know ASAP. But pimpin', what do you guys think? Do you think having a GoPro gimbal is a good idea? Or do you think it sucks and it's a waste of money? Like them comments up down below. And then also, huge shout out to everybody who bought me a coffee. You guys are some ninja bosses. And pimpin', if you want to buy me a coffee, don't be shy. The link is down below. And also, I will be linking the Inkee Falcon Pro Plus down below as well, because overall it is a good gimbal and works well, especially if you're looking to remove those jitters by turning off the stabilization. But that is it. That is a wrap. Click one of these videos up here to get more of this face, and I will see you guys in the next one.